So today I've just used as some of you know, most of you know now, I use my essential oils for health and well-being, but also my mindset and my yoga practice and so forth. So today I focused a lot on citrus bloom because I just about killed my son this morning. Only because I perhaps need to realise, just like what Ruth has mentioned, that kids will be kids. They're going to learn so much just from being in this whole lockdown experience. So for me, it was a matter of actually just tuning into myself and being calm. So I pulled out my citrus bloom, which has got grapefruit and wild orange, which are very uplifting and inspiring oils, refreshing. So they're lovely oils to drink in a glass of water as well. And I wouldn't put this in water, by the way. Citrus bloom has got lavender in it as well, which is calming. And then so has, it's got magnolia and Roman chamomile. So they're both really calming oils as well. The magnolia is really supportive for your emotions and your heart space. And the Roman chamomile on its own can be very supportive for your skin, for burns and stings. So that's quite handy in the summertime around here, Roman chamomile. But I really love my citrus bloom because it's one of those uplifting yet calming oils. So I love it, and I use it actually a lot as a perfume or just in my diffuser. So I've just been kind of like pouring it all over myself this morning. So that is my go-to today. So if you have an oil and you want to do that, feel free to put an oil on your hands and just inhale and let that scent or the sensation of that smell really rise up inside you and just allow that body to feel invigorated. So wherever you are on your mat space, just for the next moment, sit as comfortable as you can and just close in with your eyes and just take a couple of deep breaths here, breathing in, sighing the breath out, and again, breathing in and breathing out. Just noticing that when you exhale, you're releasing all that tension that you may have harbored onto this morning or over the weekend. Gosh knows why we've really got any tension, but there might have been something that's a little bit niggly from your home space, that the dishes weren't done because they haven't been done all week, that the children or the dogs or whatever the animals are in your way. So just whatever it is, just sigh your breath out and really notice that the body changes with the exhalation. That you can allow that sense of calm, that sense of being right here, right now on your mat, that you can be the calmest, happiest version of yourself in this moment. So just in your own space, open with your eyes, and we're going to come around, we're going to get moving into a physical practice. Won't be too intense. Apparently last Thursday was intense, I was puffing. So come up onto all fours and move your blanket or cushion if you have one. Hands are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. And we're just moving into a cat and cow curl. So rounding up into the spine, tucking in with your chin, expanding across the shoulder blades, and then continue that lengthen back with the sit bones towards your heels, reaching forward as you lengthen into the arms. Soften with your shoulders, with the belly, into the elbow, the jaw. Feel that length down through the sides of the arms. So from here, just gently raise up, arch up into the back again. So it's just actually really expanding onto the arch at this point, tucking in with the chin and expanding across the shoulder blades, and then sitting back. So we're focusing, as I say, on the arch, that upper space. Sinking the sit bones back to the heels, lengthening forward into the arms. And then again, raising up, lifting up onto the knees, arching into the back, tucking in with your chin. And for the last time, sinking the sit bones back, rounding as best you can, lengthening forward. This time you're going to draw your eyes forward and then slide that upper body forward and through. So the elbows and the forearms come down to the mat, sliding forward and through, lifting up onto your forearms into your sphinx. So I hope you can see me on my screen at this point. Soften through the shoulders, raising up into the eyes, and just acknowledge how the spine is feeling at this moment. Remember, whether you've done a bit of practice or exercise this morning, your body may still be in the morning mode, and there'll be a different feeling from the body in the morning to the evening. So just take your time as you open and expand into the back. Shoulders draw down, belly button draws in. Just pausing here, lengthening back into those legs. See if you can really extend through the legs, the buttocks, And then just slowly release. Hands under the shoulders, elbows drawn in at the rib cage. Take the head low, hips go high and round back all the way into your extended child. Lengthening forward into those arms. So we'll take that right hand on top of the left hand. We did this last week. Lovely little extension back through the sit bones and a reach forward and through that right arm, really expanding into the right side of the rib cage. Breathe. Releasing it off by taking that right hand back and then take the left hand on top of the right. And again, just sink the sit bones back. Feel that length into the left side of the rib cage especially. And breathe. Release that left hand back. And then slowly drive up onto all fours. So from here, we're going to take our left leg up towards the outside of that left hand. And then swing the left leg back to the outside of that right leg. So swinging it forward and up, and then exhale back. Inhaling up, and exhaling back. Beautiful, just keeping it going. Working at your pace. If you need to work just a little bit slower, a little bit more fluid, then do so. See if you can just keep the fluidity of the body, of the breath in unison. Inhale up and exhale back. I'm going to keep the left leg up, so the next time the left leg comes up, just pause. You're going to turn with the left toes out to the side, so if it's off your mat, that's absolutely fine, mine is. Just soften into the shoulders, turn the toes outwards, maybe it's out by about 30 degrees, and just gently bending forward towards that left foot. Now you may like to, if you wish to challenge it a little further, bring your left hand onto that left knee and just gently open it. Remember, the body's still warming up, so just be kind. Soften through the shoulders, lengthen and expand. And if you wish to take a twist, you can gently raise up. Oh, I've just got a puzzle delivery. Soften through your shoulders, twisting to the left. And then just slowly, when you're ready, thanks so much, come back to center and then flip that left leg back. So you're going to sit back into the pose of the child. So just gently sitting the buttocks back, fold over with your forearms, resting with the head onto the back of the hands, unless you prefer to have your arms behind. So just pause, just breathe. And then in your own space, bring the arms forward again and raise up onto all fours. So we'll do the same thing with the right leg. So you're taking your right leg up to the outside of the right hand, and then taking the right leg, oh, my couch is in the way, back towards the left-hand side. So it's an inhale up to the outside of the right hand, and an exhale back. Inhale up, and exhale back. Gently keep this motion going. Come up a little further forward. Inhale. Notice the breath, notice the way that the breathing rate challenges the way the body moves. And what happens with each time you breathe. So the next time we take our right leg up, we're going to leave it up there. So the right leg is to the outside of the right hand. We're going to turn with the toes out to the right hand side, just a little bit further. And then just gently take your weight forward towards your left knee and foot. And if you wish, you can take your right hand onto the right knee and encourage the right knee outwards, away from you. And then you may like to take that twist by just gently looking over the right shoulder. If you've just kept your hand down, that's fine. Just turn with your eyes as far as is comfortable. So just gently allowing the shoulders to soften down, belly button draws in, supporting the back. And then when you're ready, just slowly coming back to center, and we'll step that right knee back and back into the pose of the child. So just pause and rest. Remember again, just enjoy that expansion into the lower back with each time you breathe. Breathing as deeply as you can so that you can massage not only into your internal organs, especially through the digestive tract, but also to expand into the kidneys and through your lower back by breathing as deeply as you can. Right, so from here, let's get a little bit more active, taking the arms out shoulder width or a little bit wider, spreading the hands and inhale up onto all fours, tucking your toes and raising up into the hips into your Ardha Matsyendrasana. Now let's walk the heels, gently taking the heels back one at a time, breathing as you allow that body to soften through your shoulders, through the elbows, through your facial muscles, lifting into the hips and encouraging the thighs back towards your, the chest back towards the thighs. And then from here, just lifting up onto the toes as high as you can, and then we'll turn our heels over to the right. So just lowering the heels to the right. We're extending into the left side of the body, gazing under that left arm towards the sky. And again, feeling that wonderful space open up into the rib cage, the armpit, but also through your hips and down to the left side of the leg. Maybe is squeezing into the right side of the body. And then slowly lifting back up onto the toes, swivel those heels back to center and then around to the left. So again, gently drawing back through to that right leg and turning the eyes out to the right. Beautiful, breathing deeply. And then slowly lifting up onto the heels, swivel the heels back to center, lower the heels back down to center, and then lift up onto the toes, down onto your knees, forward with your chest, coming forward and through. So this time resting onto the forearms, soften into your shoulders, lifting upwards through that upper body. So remember again, we want to draw that belly button in, lengthen back and down through the legs as you gently draw up. From here, we're just going to lower down with the upper body, bring our hands under our shoulders as we touch our forehead or nose towards the mat. And then lifting up with the head, and then lifting up slowly as you ripple upwards through your back, elbows close to the body. You may not come up very high. It really is not a competition about how high you come up. It's a matter of saying, how high feels right for me through the upper back and then into the lower back. So using the little bit of pressure in through the hands, see if you can gently extend up just a little bit higher, working a little bit of strength into the upper arms. And then just slowly lower back down and rest with your arms down by your side cheek into the mat. Just rest. Let's allow your hips to wiggle from side to side and just get a little bit of space opening up into the lower back. And then we'll try that just one more time. So let's bring our hands under the shoulders, soften into those shoulders, keep the head down. And then just this time, we're going to activate into the legs a little more. So really extend backwards through those legs. See if you can contract into the thighs and into the calves. So you're wanting those calves and thighs to be nice and strong, not stiff. So the knees are just a little bit soft. And then slowly, when you're ready, raise up with the upper body. Very quietly, one at a time, soften down through your shoulders. Feel as if your shoulder blades are squeezing in towards each other. And then expand upwards, beginning to apply a little bit of pressure into the hands to draw yourself up, strengthening through the arms, working into the upper arm, and then if you wish, you can gaze forward and slightly up without throwing your head too far back. And then gently, when you're ready, just release, lower back down, nice and slowly ripple down, arms down by your side, the other cheek into the mat. And again, just wriggle those hips. Nice and gently from side to side, freeing up through the back of the body. And then again, this time, we're going to come back into our child's pose. So let's bring our hands under the shoulders. Your head faces forward, and then gently, elbows close up the rib cage, keep the head low, slide all the way back, and come and take rest into the pose of the child, whether your arms are folded under the forehead or behind. And just breathe. Nice. So lengthening forward into your arms, Expand and create that space. Lift up onto your fingertips. Draw forward into your knuckles and then lower the palms back down to the earth. Inhale up onto all fours. Raising up onto your toes or tucking the toes under, raising up onto the feet, lifting into the hips, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Breathe in. So we'll work into our three-legged dog. So we'll raise through our right leg, extend our right leg out behind us. Keep those hips square to the floor. Let's lift up onto the toes of that left foot. Extend upwards through that right ball of the foot. And then when you're ready, draw the eyes forward between the hands and then step your right foot between the hands as far as you feel comfortable, lifting it forward and through, softening down into those shoulders, and then just being kind to the body, we're going to take that left knee down to the floor, keep the toes of that left foot tucked, raising up into the arms, soften into the shoulders, and let's take a twist, left hand to the right knee. Let's extend back through the right arm today, so the shoulders are softened down. You're gazing over that right shoulder, or just out to the right hand side as far as it feels comfortable for you. Using that left hand to just gently encourage the left knee forward. There's often a tendency for the knee to open outwards, so let's gently draw the left knee forward as you reach back. Think about lengthening back a little bit further behind you to really activate through that left hip flexor. So extending back, then we're going to raise up into the right arm, up into the left, and float the arms down. Step up with your left knee, slide back into plank, breathe. Belly button draws in, and raise up into your downward dog. So sighing that breath out. Gently walk the heels. Breathe nice and gently. Good. When you're ready, three-legged dog by taking the left leg, extend it up to the sky. Keep your hips square to the mat. Elbows and shoulders soft. Lifting up onto the right toes. Extending upwards a little higher through your left leg into the left toes. And then when you're ready, drawing the eyes forward and step through with that left foot. Pause into your lunge. So extend back through that right leg. Soften into the shoulders, and when you're ready, we'll lower down with your right knee, keeping the toes of that right foot where they are, raising up into your easy little Virabhadrasana 1 modification, taking the right hand to the left knee and extending back through that left arm, sorry. So gently soften the shoulders, and here we're going to lengthen back just a little through that left arm to really focus on that right hip flexor. Encourage your right hand to gently draw that left knee forward, supporting you in your balance as you twist around, lengthening the eyes towards the left. And then slowly raising up into the arms, and then float the hands down, lifting up with your right knee, back into your plank, nice and strong with that press up position, down onto your knees, so the hips are drawn forward, you're staying here. Breathe, rest, and draw back, soles of the feet up, and form the pose of the child. Just take it easy. It's a good time to have a drink if you wish, just have a sip of water. And we'll keep our standing flows going. So when you're ready, we'll lengthen forward into the arms, gently drawing up onto all fours. Tuck your toes, raising up into the hips. Breathe. Let's take the right leg up to the sky. Lengthen upwards with your right leg. Open the hips up if it's comfortable. You don't have to. Remember how your body is feeling, what's happening for you today. Lift up through that right leg. Release the heel towards the buttocks if you choose. And then lifting up onto the left toes. Just pause here by challenging that right knee to go upwards if you wish. Otherwise, you can charge back with your right ball of your foot. Eyes draw forward, stepping through with your right foot. Pick it up, place it between the hands. Into your lunge, raising up into the arms. Soften with your shoulders, so both knees are off the floor at this point. Soften into the shoulders. Left leg extends back, so really try and open back through that left heel. Lifting up into the sky. Soften the shoulders, really think about tucking that tailbone down as best you can.
drawing inwards through the frontal spine. As you reach up, lengthen up, soften the shoulders back and take a small back extension. And then slowly float the hands down. You're going to step your left foot in about 1 foot distance further forward. So just placing your left foot forward, lower the heel to the floor. So then straighten through that right front leg as best you can. Always keeping a little bit of a bend into the knee. But we're thinking now about taking that right leg back as best you can. So you're focusing on drawing the sit bones of that right side of your buttocks especially back behind you. See if you can really fold forward and over with your upper body over the right thigh. Wherever your hands are, whether you've come down as far as you can with your shin, if that's more comfortable for you to lengthen up and take back with your right leg. Otherwise, you might be quite bent and over that right leg. So if you want to lengthen up, you can. We're going to take a little twist. So we're going to take the left hand to the right side of your calf, or if your hands are to the floor, we'll take it to the right side of your right foot, left hand to the right, and then just take that right hand either to the hip or into the small of the back. From there, grow with the upper body upwards and around to the right. It's tricky, breathe. Move mindfully and just breathe. Always challenging that right side of your buttocks to draw back and the left heel to encourage down and towards the floor. So a beautiful stretch into the calf, a twist and a balance all in one. And then from there, just slowly come back around to the front. Let's bend with that left knee. Let's step back into our plank. So you'll need to step that left leg back as well. Soften through your shoulders, belly button is nice and strong, and raise up into your downward dog. Let's breathe. Remember, the downward dog is a rest position. You'll be thrilled to hear that today, I'm sure. So let's slowly, when you're ready, raise up through your left leg. Extend up, raising up into that left leg. Now it's up to you if you want to rotate that left hip. Try and draw the hips on top of each other. Release the heel back towards the buttocks as you raise up onto the right toes. And just pause without holding your breath. Remember to breathe. Good. Eyes drawing forward, and then step through with your left foot. Stepping that left foot forward. Soften with your shoulders. And then we're going to come up into a deep lunge, warrior one. Raising up into the arms. So you've bent down with that left knee. You've lengthened up into the arms. You're going to open back through that right heel, straightening through the back of that leg. Good. So then tucking the tailbone down, drawing that belly button in, lengthen up through the upper body, soften down through the shoulders, and encourage your gaze upward. Just feel a little bit into that upper back. And then just slowly, I've completely forgotten where we went after this. Breathe. I'm going to slowly fold ourselves forward and down. This is what we did. We stepped forward with our right leg. And then stepping your right foot in, so about a foot distance further forward. Gently extending back through that left leg. So we're going to straighten into our left leg. Find that space into the hamstring as you lengthen the sit bones back as much as you can. So it's almost like you're twisting that left side of your buttocks back and encouraging your right hip to draw forward. So you really start to activate through that front left calf, hamstring. And then from there, we're going to take our twist. So again, you may have your hands towards your shin, that's fine. And we're going to take that right hand to the outside of that left leg or the left side of that left foot. And then extend back with that left hand onto your hip or taking it into the small of the back. Breathe. Continue to focus on that left leg going back, opening through the right side of your calf, on the right calf I should say. Soften into the shoulders, extend back, breathe. Use the whole foot instead of gripping onto the floor with your toes, which is a tendency in balanced postures. And then just gently coming back around to the front. Beautiful. Bending into your left knee, step back into your plank. Soften the shoulders, the hands are under the shoulders, belly button is drawn in.
Let's go forward and through into a little vinyasa flow. Down onto the knees, forward with the chest. Inhale, forward and through. Gently, soles of the feet up. Let's raise upward. Elbows are in at the body. Let's squeeze through the upper back. And then slowly float forward and down. Draw back, pose of the child. Just sitting back and breathe. Just breathe. Nice. Remember that breath, keep it flowing through your entire practice. So extending your arms forward again, soften into the shoulders, and then raise up, Adho Mukha Shavasana, downward dog, lifting into the hips, extending back. So the body should be a little bit warmer now. Let's challenge our downward dog just a little bit. So let's focus on lengthening into the back of the thighs, behind the knees as you draw down through your heels. See when you're looking back towards your feet, if you can just keep an arch into the, keep a lift into the arch of the feet. So try not to flatten out through the curve, the lift into the arch of the foot. But the toes are spread and you're encouraging the heels back towards the floor. And then with the upper body, see if you can just gently soften the shoulders, soften your elbows, and then encourage the chest towards your thighs. Draw inwards with the belly, even though you can still breathe, just to lengthen out that natural curve in your spine, and then encourage the top of the head down towards the floor. Breathing. Nice. Let's lift up onto the toes, down onto your knees, forward with your chest. Inhale, forward and through. Let's keep the hands where they are. Raise up and float back down. Good. Gently up onto the knees, tuck your toes, raise back up into your downward dog. Beautiful. It's good, it's good. Let's raise up into your right foot. Extend up into your three-legged dog. Release the heel to the buttocks. Encourage the knee up to the sky as best you can. If that means that you're taking the foot back and over towards the floor, then do so. And then raise up with the right knee, left foot, left heel. Step forward and through, coming into that deep lunge. This time we're going to transition into warrior two from here. So taking the left heel to the floor, let's sweep that left arm out to the side and gently and graciously just transition into your Virabhadrasana 2. Nice. So from here we're actually going to tuck that right hand into the small of the back. You've just gently tucked that right hand down. Lengthen up into that left arm. Extend it up to the sky. And then as you lengthen up and over, watch that you're not popping that left hip up. You're keeping that right knee bent, but you're extending over so that the arm almost rests against your face as you look beyond the arm. From there, we're going to take that right arm out so it's parallel to the left. Belly button draws in. Breathe. Breathe. And then slowly lifting back up, float the arms down shoulder height. Let's cartwheel the left arm all the way over, back into your lunge, and back into your plank. So this time you can either come down knees or chest, or slowly float down to your chaturanga. Inhale, forward and through. Keep the hands where they are if you can. And then slowly float back down. Draw back into the downward dog. So gently take your time, raise back up, breathe. So we're going to do the same to the left side. Let's start by taking the left leg up to the sky. As you breathe. Let's open and stack the hips if it's comfortable, lifting up onto the right toes, release the heel to the buttocks. Breathe, encourage that left heel back a little, the left knee up to the sky. And then from there, eyes draw forward, step through with that left foot. I haven't got that mobility today. Soften down through that right, left knee, sorry. Lengthen back through the right leg. Taking that right heel to the floor and then sweeping the arms out to your Virabhadrasana 2. So you float it upwards with the upper body and just soften down through your shoulders. Nice. So from here, the left arm tucks under.
just into the small of the back. You're going to raise up into the right arm, keeping that left knee bent. You're going to extend over with that right arm so that it's almost up against the face, soften down through your shoulders, and then gently draw the left arm up parallel to the right. Breathe. Beautiful deep breaths. One last breath here, and then inhale, float back to your Virabhadrasana 2, shoulders come down, looking over the left, and then we'll cartwheel the right arm all the way over either side of the left foot, back into your lunge, step back into your plank, and this time knees, chest, or chaturanga, slowly down. Inhale, forward and through, soles and feet to the sky. If you can lift up a little bit higher, do so, belly button draws in, and then release back, child's pose. Time for a rest. Slowly draw back into the pose of the child as you gently roll back and breathe. You're working a little bit of strength today, so we'll be getting to the easy stuff very soon. When we're ready, we're just going to come from our three-legged dog now into our Ekapada Rajakapotanasana. So let's extend the arms forward, lengthen up onto all fours, tucking your toes, raising up into your hips. So remember this lovely downward dog position. We're nice and warm. Let's see if we can challenge it just a little bit more. And let's really lengthen back through the heels, the calves, the knees, behind the knees. Think about drawing the sit bones as far up to the sky as you can. And then transition that upper body weight down into the hands and into the top of the head as it nears towards the floor. And then raising up into your right leg, extend up. Release the heel back to the buttocks and encourage that weight over as far as you like. And then lifting up onto the left heel, eyes draw forward and then swing through into your pigeon. So taking that right leg forward and through, left leg extends back. Let's sit up, stay upward just for a moment. Soften into the shoulders and breathe. Heart rate's up today. And then gently bending into that left knee, drawing the left foot in towards your buttocks. Now, if you can, hold around the upper ankle. So it's almost as if you're holding around the lower shin. If you wish to come to a balance, you can. Otherwise, keeping that right foot down. Drawing your eyes forward, right foot, right hand, and lengthen forward into your right arm. You can breathe by gently raising upwards, gazing upwards, drawing that foot right in towards your buttocks, and then floating the arm and leg back down as you just gently extend back through that left leg. So you've lengthened it back just a smidgen further, and then come on down onto those forearms. And you can rest your head if you choose, or you can extend the arms out. So just gently doing whatever feels right for you. Enjoy this position. Enjoy the fact that you get to come to a bit of a rest while you're working through the right knee, thigh, buttocks, into your back, pelvis. These wonderful twists and closed-in positions are really good for squeezing and releasing into the toxins, and each time you exhale and let go out of the pose, you're releasing them from the body. So you've squeezed into them and then you've said, I don't want you anymore, let go. So just enjoying this position as best you can. Some find it really challenging. I love it. So lengthening back with the left leg just a smidgen more. It might only be a matter of a mil. And then raising up with your left knee. So the left knee may come off the floor a matter of 2 or 3 mils, 3, 4, 5 mils. Just lengthen back with that left leg. And breathe. And then lower back down with that left leg or left knee. And then slowly lift with your head from the hands. Draw your hands then back towards that right knee. Sitting up nice and tall. Soften into the shoulders. Taking your right sit bones towards the floor, swinging that left leg all the way around. Now this time we're bringing that right leg over. We really want to try and sit the sit bones back. So if you can, hands down either side, just lift up
and really encourage that lift. Let's lift up and take your hips a little bit over to the right to really encourage that left sit bone down. So if that's too tight for you through your hips or knees, remember you can keep that right leg straight with just the left one over. If it's comfortable to have that left leg under, then do so. Just make sure that you've drawn those hips down. So squeezing that left knee in towards the body. And then instead of having the knee squeezed in, we're going to play around with it today. We're going to take that left knee out to the right hand, left foot, goodness gracious, left foot out to the right, and just encourage the left knee down. So it's not drawn into the chest, it's down. So you're going to feel this a little bit into your hips, soften into the shoulders, see if you can just gently push downwards, and then allow yourself to take the left hand behind, close to the body so that you can lengthen upwards. Find that space up through the frontal spine, shoulders are soft, and then gazing around to your left last. Breathe. And then just slowly, when you're ready, we'll release. Come back around to center. We'll take a little counter pose. So just take that right hand behind, left hand to the outside of that left leg, and just gently soften the shoulders, twist and turn to the right. Just as a wee counter pose, which may work quite strong for you in through your right hip flexor. And then just gently in your own space, releasing that off. Bring that left knee back into the pose of the child. So just gently take your time. Sinking the sit bones back, pause into the pose of the child. Just breathe. That was like I could catch my breath. So gently lengthen forward into your arms. Let's raise up onto the knees, tucking your toes, lengthen up into the hips, raising upwards. Let's challenge that Adho Mukha Svanasana space into the back of the body, drawing that frontal body towards the legs. Breathing. Left leg, when you're ready, we'll extend it up into your Tripada Svanasana. So start by keeping the hips square to the floor to begin, and then if it's comfortable, rotate through that left hip. Release the heel to the buttocks, and then you can just gently encourage the heel back, and then lifting up onto the right toes, opening as best you can. And then when you're ready, we're going to draw the eyes forward and swing through with the left knee. So the left knee is forward, the right knee places down, sole of the foot to the sky. Let's sit upwards, and today it's just a slight variation. We're going to bring the right buttocks towards the foot, right foot towards the buttocks, holding onto your left right ankle. My goodness gracious, I haven't eaten enough today. The other day I ate too close to you. I know I haven't eaten enough. Soften down through your shoulders and gently drawing inwards through your foot towards your buttocks, releasing the left arm if you wish to work into your balance. Gazing upwards, drawing it in, lengthen, and then just breathe. Don't feel that you have to do the balance. If you'd rather keep that left hand down, then that's fine. Just floating arm and leg back down when you're ready. And then come and lie yourself down onto the floor. I'm just going to make it just a switch. And so taking those forearms into the mat, folding over with your hands if you choose, or lengthening out into the arms. Just breathe. Just breathe. It's the time check for you, Yvonne. It's 20 to 1. So we'll keep going for everyone else, just letting everyone know. So lengthen back now with that right leg, just a smidgen further back. As you do lengthen back, notice that the knee wants to extend up and off the mat. So you're now going to lift it up only an inch or so at the most. Might only be a few mils, doesn't need to be far. Lift with that right knee, connect and contract into that right thigh. Really strengthen and lengthen as you breathe. And then slowly release down with that right knee, all the way back down to the floor. And then from here, just gently walking your hands then back towards that left knee as you sit up nice and tall, lowering down with your left side of your buttocks, swinging that right leg all the way around. So taking it to the outside of the left knee, and then this time just really engaging the sit bones back down to the floor. So you've got your right leg tucked under, right leg over. You're now going to, instead of bringing it right in towards the chest, we're now going to take the foot out to the left and just encourage the knee down just a little. So working a little stronger into like our cow's head, the Gomukhasana, and just gently encouraging the hands down. We're going to start by taking a little twist, so taking that right hand behind, close to the body so that you can then lengthen upwards and just gently twisting around, encouraging the knee down and your eyes around to the right. Breathe. And then slowly, when you're ready, we'll release that off and come back around to the center. Bring the right hand to the inside, soften into the shoulders. Just taking a little twist off to the left. And then slowly unwind as you release. So we're going to uncross with our legs, staying seated. So we're going to lengthen out into the legs. You'll be pleased at this part. Lifting the flesh from your sit bones. Really make sure that you can connect into the earth beneath with your sit bones. And then we're going to sit up nice and tall. So we're going to into our Dandasana. Remember, our Dandasana is with your hands down to the floor, either sides of your hips. You've lengthened out into the legs. Watch you're not locking into the knees, so just keeping them a little bit soft. But the legs are long, pushing through the soles of the feet, allowing those toes to draw back towards your shins, and then engaging with the arms by drawing the hands firmly down to the floor. Elbows, if they're bent especially, and at the sides, lengthening upwards, being nice and long, so you're pushing outwards through your feet, down through the hands and upwards through the top of your head. So keeping as tall as you can through your spine, see if you can change very little as you let go with the hands and then raise up into the arms, lengthening upwards through the sides of the body, in through the rib cage. Inhale, and then on the exhale, hinge at the hips, reach forward. Imagine somebody's got hold of your wrist and they're lengthening you forward, reaching forward as far as you can, and you're going to lower the hands down towards the floor or towards your shin, under the knees, wherever it feels right for you, so that you can keep your spine long, your back long, and your chest going towards your legs or your toes. So holding wherever it feels right for you, soften into the shoulders, and then just continue to lengthen forward for at least another 3 to 4 breaths here. Just breathing as deeply as you can and allowing the eyes to quietly fold down to the legs at the moment at which you feel that you can fold no further forward. But just breathe and enjoy that space that you're giving. Wherever you're tightest is where you'll feel it most. It could be behind the knees, behind the calves, the thighs, into the back, lower or upper. Maybe it's into the shoulders or the toes at this point, who knows? But wherever you're feeling tightest is where you'll feel it. So just be mindful how you're breathing, how you're releasing, and what it feels like for you. So one last breath. And then on the inhale, just gently rolling up, curling up through your spine, all the way back up. Gently bouncing into those knees. So let's bring the soles of the feet together and open each knee out to either side. We're going to hold onto the feet or the ankles or the toes, whatever it feels right for you, and just gently flutter in with your knees. Taking those knees out to the side and breathe. Now crossing, bringing your forearms over onto those shins or onto the calves, and just gently and lengthening forward again. Shoulders are down, feeling that space open up into the inner thigh. So one final bit of work strength work coming up just before we come down onto the floor. It's very minimal. You will be fine. Adding a twist and then a little bit of core strength. So releasing that one off. Gently bringing your knees back up to center. Lengthen out with the legs. Bounce in at the knees. We're going to cross our right leg up and over the left leg. So you cross the right leg over the left. Taking that left hand down behind you, you're now going to lengthen downwards through that left leg as you reach up into the right arm, lifting up as best you can with the hips. So there's a tendency for those hips to sag. Let's really lift them up, lengthen upwards, extend up and over with your right arm. Challenge this part of your hips to lift upwards. As you then lower by floating the arm back down, lowering down with your hips, and then just uncrossing with your legs, floating the legs forward, bouncing into the knees, and let's try to the other side. So left knee bends up, crossing it over to the right, taking the right hand behind you, and then lengthen forward and down with that left leg as you raise up into the left arm, up into the left side of the hips, really extend up and over. You can look under the left arm, reaching up, working into the hips, into the core, finding that space into the sides of the leg, the ITB bend, and then slowly float that down as you lower down with your hips and uncross with your legs. So let's come on down onto our backs. Sit yourself forward so that you've got enough room to roll yourself down. Curl in over your legs and round into your spine and just do a gentle roll. One vertebrae down. I'm just going to check the time for you along. Almost 12 minutes toe, gently curling down, rolling back down onto your back, resting with your arms down by your side. So from here, just gently bring your knees in towards your chest, one hand atop each knee, and just gently tuck them in. Exhale each time the knees come in. Good. And then when you're ready, we'll take our feet back down to the floor. So if you can, extend your arms out to the side, shoulder height. Let's take our our feet as wide as our mat, if not a little bit wider. Knees are up to the sky. Knees go same direction from side to side. So you all know this. Draw your knees up and over to the other side. Inhale up and over to the other side. Inhale and exhale. Turning the head in the opposite direction to the knees. And remember to work with that core strength. So inhale to draw the knees up, using the strength in your tummy muscles. Exhale, just let them flop over. Inhale up and exhale over. Gently keeping this motion going from side to side. And then just slowly, when you're ready, come back up to center. We're going to bring our feet in. We're going to cross our right leg over our left leg as if we're seated into a chair with our legs crossed. And then just allow the knees to lower down to the left, just slowly lengthening over to the left, softening into your right shoulder, allowing the head to gaze out to the right, and then bringing your hand onto the left hand, onto the knees to gently draw them down if you choose. It can be quite a strong pose for you, so just be kind. Just breathe. Breathe. Feel free to close them with your eyes and just observe what's happening for you, whether it's quite a strong twist into the belly today, or maybe it's a big expansion in through your hips or lower back. Maybe the space that you need to open up through your chest and your shoulders is challenging enough for today, maybe through the neck. Just whatever it feels the most strong, really breathe into those spaces. Try and open it up as best you can. And then just slowly release with the left hand from the knees. Draw the belly button in. Inhale those knees back up to center. Just uncross with your legs. And then crossing the other leg over. So the left leg is on top of the right now. And just quietly taking your knees over to the right. As you gently allow those eyes to then turn over to the left. Using your right hand, you can bring it just on top of the knees and just gently allow yourself to settle down into this position, taking the knees over, breathing. And again, just when you're ready, we'll let go with the right hand from the knees. Draw the belly in, draw those legs back up to center, head back to center, uncross with your legs, and then bring both knees back in towards your chest again, one at a time, one knee in and then the other. And just again, sigh the breath out each time those knees come in. Gently then squeezing the knees and lifting their forehead towards those knees. And then gently lower back down with the head. And then taking your feet to the floor, placing the soles of the feet together and opening each knee out to either side as you release down with your arms down by your side and closing with your eyes. What I want us to do is we're just going to do a little bit of extra work, but with the eyes closed as best you can. So let's really use our focus on the sense of hearing and allow our body to be in tune with how it's feeling, what's happening for you at this moment. So maybe there's a little nibble into the back and you just need to gently tuck those sit bones down towards the heels or slightly tilt that pelvis upward so that you can just neutralize that curve in your back. Maybe you want to grab a cushion that might be nearby and just slide it under your hips so that you've got a little bit of support on the knees. So you've got a bit of support through your hips by taking support through the knees. Just close in with your eyes and relax through the facial muscles. Checking that you've drawn in with your chin, that the shoulders are down from your ears, that you're resting evenly on your back, from the shoulders down to your hips. And keeping with your eyes closed if you can, gently draw your knees back up to center. Straighten out with your left leg along your mat. And then bring your right knee in towards your body with your hands over the right knee. And just sigh that breath out by drawing that right knee in towards the body. You're slowly squeezing in with your right knee towards the chest, towards the shoulder. And then just gently lengthening down through the left leg by flexing in with your toes, drawing the toes right in towards your shin as you lengthen away through the heel of your left leg. Pointing with your right toes, opening through the shin of that right leg and drawing inwards with your right knee. And then just slowly soften and release by taking that right foot back down, let go with the hands, take the right foot down, rest the arms down by your side. Bend back into your left knee and then straighten out through your right leg. Bend in with the left knee towards your chest, arms around the left knee, and then just sigh the breath out each time you draw inwards with that left knee, bringing it in as close as you can. Slowly starting to activate through that right leg, so you've drawn away through the heel of that right foot, drawn the toes back in towards the shin, and now the toes of the left foot are pointed, opening into the front of the foot and down into the shin. Squeezing in through the left leg, breathing. And then just quietly letting go with the left hand from the knees. Foot back down to the floor, bending back into your right knee. Both knees are bent. Bring both knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around both knees. Gently squeezing in with your knees. Pulling your knees in as tightly as you can. Pushing down through the tailbone while you're pulling in. So it's a pull in with the knees, a push back, down with the tailbone. And then just slowly release by taking the feet to the floor. So let go with the hands, take the feet back down. Rest your arms down by your side. And then place the soles of the feet together and open the knees out to either side again. And just rest. Make those little adjustments that you need to so that you've tilted the pelvis upward. You're taking the tailbones down towards the heels. You've tucked in with your chin. Soften down with your shoulders, lengthening into the back of the neck, creating the neck space to be nice and long. And you've softened into the belly, noticing that the breath is coming and going from the belly space. Your facial muscles are soft. Your fingers are soft. And the legs, the way they're resting, are as relaxed as can be. This may be a beautiful position of choice for you right now, so feel free to stay here if it feels great. If you're wanting to change something, then just lift your knees up and make your adjustment, whether it's with your knees bent or the legs outstretched. However you now choose to rest for your final relaxation, get into a position which feels right for this very moment. As we lay here, just observe your breath and notice that the breathing rate is slowing. Your heart rate is lowering. And possibly your body temperature is starting to cool as well. Become aware of the parts of the body that are connecting into the earth beneath. And any parts, if any, that you're still holding on to or harbouring a little bit of tension. Let's just see if you can sigh that breath out. Maybe it's a physical move that you need to do to just rest and relax through that body. Maybe it's something as simple as the breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Gently taking this time to quietly bring awareness into the body. We're turning with the head from side to side. Maybe wiggling with your fingers. Gently rocking with the body, rolling the wrists, bending the elbows, bending the knees, or stretching things out as you need to. Just taking this time to be mindful about the way you move, the way you awaken, and how the body is going to come from a lying position to seated. Rocking from side to side, curling onto your side, and very graciously drawing yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Just pausing for a moment as you bring your awareness back to the here and the now. Closing with the eyes and putting a massive smile on your face, giving yourself a wee pat on the back for taking this opportunity, taking an hour out of your day. I'm incredibly grateful. Namaste. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much, everyone. You have a, stop the recording, have a